Every 31st of December, they will tell their parents, don't cook for us. I'll prepare their food from my house. And I tell my children that I'm going to church. This church food is for Ephraimites.
Wọn àkọ́jú, wọn sọ fún wa girlfriend mi lọ sí kankan.
Ephraim jẹ́ bí ìpìlẹ̀ sí ọjọ́ ọ̀la nínú ìjọ wa. Mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run torí pé a bá gbogbo yín náà nílẹ̀. Pàtí mo débí nínú agbo yìí, a máa ta bá nínú ẹgbẹ́ wa ipò tí wọ́n wà. Tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa activities nínú ìjọ, ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim ni.
And they are very honest. Once they are befriending any girl, they don't go after anybody. If you look at them today, many of them, they are still with their wife.
What you have today, we are proud of the church in terms of youth progression, youth development. I'm not sure of a church that will score better, whatever the denomination.
My name is Felix Tayo. I'm a trained accountant by profession, a chartered financial administrator, and I also hold an MBA in finance. I am a member of Ephraim Band. Ephraim Band was actually founded by our fathers in the main church. Then we had the leader in council, which comprised of the general leader, our late founding father, Baba Fakeye, the late deputy leader, Baba Oyelola, and the late general secretary, Pastor Gio Baptist. Ephraim Band was founded then in 1983. But because of the foresight in gathering youths of the church, we were moved then from Joseph to Ephraim Band, like I said. And Ephraim Band was basically meant to serve as the go-between the main church and the younger generation to fortify the youth fellowship and to groom us. We were trained scripturally. We had opportunities to be trained for our different leadership responsibilities and in our secular life. It gave us opportunity to interact with our female colleagues, female younger ones. I know many of you know that we're more or less synonymous. Ephraim was more or less synonymous with Faith Band because they were of the same age bracket as of then. I think the age bracket for Ephraim Band has been increased because of the new youth age. Then it was those between the ages of 18, 19 and the ages of 22, 23. So we had opportunities to interact and intermarry ultimately.
My name is Brother Oladejo Nathaniel Oyawale. I've been a member of the Cherubim and Seraphim Movement Church since 1975. Actually, my mother joined in 1974, not permanently. So in 1975, a year later, we became full members of the church. I'm proud to say that I was a foundation member of the children ministry of the church. We used to call it the Sunday school then. We started fully in Aguda, Olademeji Street. And I can look back with fond memories of the people we grew up with.
I came to Ephraim Band in 1982, but I joined this church as far back as 67 when I was in Britain. I came back to Nigeria in July 71. Then the leader came before me and they started this church. They were then at Iwaya. That was where I joined them. Then we later moved to Aguda before we came here. It was here that they started Ephraim Band. My senior sister was their first matron. Then we have both, elderly people and junior boys in Ephraim Band. Then the church decided when the boys, they don't have time, they won't stay in the main church because we all worship in the main church. But some of them will take their father's key, take their cars and go out to places and come back when we are about to finish the service. So they called them, late Pastor Baptist, they had meeting with the boys that why is it that they always go out and they behave the way they were behaving. So they explained to them that what we are doing in the main church, they don't have interest in it. That mostly we discuss about husband, wife, and we discuss and which they don't gain anything. It was then that they decided that, all right, they decided to have the youths. They have a special place for the youths and allow the elderly people to have their service there. That was how they started.
The church found out that we could not really fit in. We could not really fit in the main church. We are youth. We are not even up to youth in the reasons. Only one person, I think Peter Osunde, was leaving secondary school then. I remember because when we were taken from children ministry to Joseph Band to become, to go to the main church, there was Joseph Band already. And Peter Osunde had done his school cert. Fantastic result, the church celebrated him. And but for the rest of us, we were about either from 4 or from 5. And so we formed Joseph Band then. So we couldn't fit in into the main church. And give it to the church. The church had a good progression in terms of how people should go, spiritually and secularly, simultaneously. So from there, the idea of the youth fellowship came up then. So the youth fellowship came up. People were coming from other churches, from other sects of the main CNS, and those of us who had gone through the Sunday school, and those who didn't, but who are in the church. So from there, the youth fellowship started in 1987. The youth fellowship started in 1987 at our Baba Ijo, I've forgotten his name, Oyelola Hall. Yes, Oyelola Hall. So from there, we came to the permanent site here.
Mo join in 1973. This is Timothy Iwaya Road. Through uncle mi, sínú àpọ̀sí ìdúgbò. Àjọ wà títí di Aguda tí a fi wá sí express nígbà ìgbà tó ní 1984. Wọ́n dá Isaiah sílẹ̀. I'm the first captain of Isaiah. Nígbà yẹn. After 9 years in Isaiah, wọ́n transfer wá sí Ephraim. Wọ́n transfer wá sí Ephraim wá rò pé ẹgbẹ́ àgbà ṣẹgbẹ́ ọmọdé. Alọ́ Felix àti wọ́n ìbùsàn ìyá yóò yọjú. Ìgbà tó di second week ọ̀tọ̀ ní Alọ́ Felix wá mú mi ní main church. Tó kí mo wà ní aṣọ náà, mo dẹ̀ gbàgbé lébù. Then I follow them. Bá tẹ̀lé wọn wá. Bí mo ti dé bíbá yìí, wọ́n gbàdúrà fún mi. Ní alẹ́gbà mápa sọ pé ibi ìlú a máa ṣe mí lóore ńlá tí mi ò ní gbàgbé. Then ẹ̀kọ́ nílò kọ́ máa rí àwọn wá ń pele. Wọ́n ní captain ẹ máa wá so mo dẹ̀ ń wá so without prayer ni wàá fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ mọ́ wá. Then I joined youth fellowship. I could be church. They challenged me at the main church. pé mo ti gbé Ephraim ní ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n fún mi sí ni they are enjoying them mo enjoy wọn dáadáa.
orúkọ mi ní ayébọ̀gàn Joshua Taiwo, èmi ní captain ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí. mo join ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim ní 1991 tó lájọ ṣe 10th anniversary ni. So ìfẹ́ tí mo bá nú ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim nígbà tí mo débẹ̀, àwọn màmá wa àti àwọn bàbá wa tó lóun kó wa lé lọ́wọ́ ńgbà yẹn, àwọn bàbá wa tó jẹ́ patron ńgbà yẹn jẹ́ special apostle Ọ̀rúngbèmí kó ló ń fọ̀rùn kẹwọn, wọ́n ti padà sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run nísìnyí. Pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá wa senior apostle Fáníran, màmá wa gbogbo à ń pè màmá Ephraim, wọ́n ṣe gbogbo à ń gbà yẹn bí ọmọ bíbí inú wọn ni. Màmá wa Milsi ní ọmọdé ní Israel wá pélé àtàwọn bàbá wa ń gbà yẹn tó jẹ́ captain wa, bàbá wa Felix Tayo àti ó jẹ́ secretary gbà yẹn, bàbá Fáníran ní captain gbà yẹn, bàbá wa alàgbà kan ó ní vice captain. So gbogbo ṣe kó wa bí ọmọ náà ṣe mú wa, so kò sí àyè sílẹ̀. Àwọn tó jẹ́ pé àwa ń gbà yẹn tó jẹ́ pé little or nothing ló wà lọ́wọ́ wa, wọn ò jẹ́ ká feel pé kò sí nǹkan kan lọ́wọ́ wa. So ìfẹ́ tí mo bá ní Ephraim tó fi nurture wa dàgbà kò jẹ́ kí n lè kúrò nínú ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim. So kò nígbà kankan tí mo fẹ́ kan fi ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim nílẹ̀. Ìgbà tó ń ṣe mass transfer fún gbogbo wa ń gbà yẹn, àwọn tá ti wà 20, ká wà ní late 20s nígbà yẹn, that should be around late 90 something. I find it difficult láti fi ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim nílẹ̀. So ẹsẹ̀ kan ilé, ẹsẹ̀ kan òde, gbogbo àkàn lọ sí James band, àkàn John band. So a fi ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim nílẹ̀. So mi fẹ́ kan fi ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim nílẹ̀ torí ìfẹ́ yẹn àti ìtọ́sọ́nà ipa ọ̀nà Ọlọ́run, àwọn àdúrà wa, àwọn àwẹ̀ wa, àwọn àjọ̀dún wa, ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa tí wọ́n fi ṣeré tó ń kọ́ inú oríṣi àǹfààní tó máa jẹ lọ́jọ́ iwájú tó bá jẹ́ èèyàn, wọ́n ti máa tọ́jú àwọn òbí wa náà. Gbogbo ẹ̀rọ àlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń kọ́ wa tó yẹ pé a lè fẹ́ gbé Ephraim nílẹ̀, ní ìfẹ́ kan fẹ́ gbé Ephraim nílẹ̀.
We had members of Ephraim band who were committed to the core. Probably to say we rendered more or less a sacrificial service, a selfless service. We never did anything to expect anything in return, either in form of cash or even in kind. We are always fully committed. In times of needs, in times of comfort, in times of peace, in times of joy, we were always there. Yes, we've had challenges, but those challenges were never allowed to derail us from the purpose and the cause of the band itself. As a band, we've had covenants between us and God, and we've had covenants between God and us. One or two of such covenants between God and the band is whenever He blesses us, we are not to spend whatever of the riches or wealth we are blessed with to establish, well, if you like, motels or hotels by extension. Basically, we shouldn't set up gatherings or establishments where we have immoral gatherings, immoral acts. And I think I should even put it in our local language, in vernacular. Olúwa ni ká máa fowó tó ń bá fi pèsè fún wa, tó ń bá ti bless wa tán láti fi kọ́ ilé ìtura. And this is more of a generational covenant between God and us. Another of such covenant is God told us that whenever we're in distress, whenever we're in a situation that puts us in the saddest situation, that whenever we come into this band or wherever we find ourselves, that our thinking from within us to God, we should remind Him by saying, Ọlọ́run Ephraim, rántí wákàtí tó dá ẹyẹ ojú ọ̀run. And this has been going for us. And true to it, whenever we call on God in such a manner, within a short space of time, there are solutions to our problems or the issues that we've been bogged down with. For us, covenant between us and God are such things as when we say we want to worship and gather before God, we do it wholeheartedly, in times of comfort, in times of peace, in times of joy. In times of discomfort, we do it wholeheartedly. And I think this has kept us going. Personally, I've experienced opportunities that have come my way in my personal life as a result of what I've been able to do within the band.
My experience, Ephraim grew us spiritually. Ephraim grew us spiritually. We want to talk about experience. There is no band in this church, both in main church, English chapel, and in youth fellowship, that can talk about products, who are doing so well, even spiritually, who are running ministries, who are doing great things. Starting from Pastor Kolade Adibayoke, alias Chief, the first secretary we got to know, that up to today, we have a WhatsApp platform, a reunion, and I think he's the oldest there. He's not an administrator, but his word, even with the females, his word is taken. He has never for once been found, messing up himself in any way. So we've had people who have impacted on us.
One thing I like about them, they are very contented with whatever you give them. When these people, James, when they came in, their captain was my boss in the office. He has money. They will come, they bring something very palatable and very expensive for them to eat. Ephraim, during our anniversary, that week, what we normally eat is igba, and I will bring gari for them to drink. They tell me, Matron, we want gari to drink. I said, all right, don't worry. I'm from Ijebu, so I look for Ijebu gari. I bring it here. They don't look at them, and they are very honest. Once they are befriending any girl, they don't go after anybody. If you look at them today, many of them, they are still with their wife. Sometimes if I heard that some boys, they are married and they've separated from their wife, I've just looked. I said, I know it's not Ephraim. It's not anybody from Ephraim. Because like Felix, when I bring the food in December, I'll just put the food down, go to either Truth Divine or Faith. I said, ẹ̀yin ìyàwó wa, mo ti gbóúnjẹ àwọn ọkọ yín dé, ẹ wá lọ serve wọn. And those girls will come. They will serve them. They will eat and pack my cooler and everything. They won't watch them, pack them for me. I say, you will come next year. So you left everything for me to go and watch again. I'll go and watch it. I so like them and I enjoy them. And what is my pride today? Most of them are pastors, and they're like my own son too. Pastor, he's pastoring about 5 churches in France. He's in Geneva. So Italy, Germany, is now in Christ Embassy. That's where he goes to. God has really blessed him. And hearing about them from people from outside, what they say about them makes me to be very happy.
Ephraim is a formidable band. When Baba Fakeye was very much with us, at the very early stages of Ephraim band, there were 3 groups that he had in mind as formidable, where he was comfortable to send people to for prayers. The Soldiers of Christ band, that's Omogun band. The choir. Then we had our present, our current general leader. He was a choir master, not a choir master general. And then the 3rd group, guess what? Ephraim band. I recall there was a day he requested for 7 members. We sent 7 members from the band. I think one of the current, the deputy chairman of the current, this 40th anniversary committee, Sunday, was one of those who was amongst the 7. When he got to Baba Fakeye's office, they didn't know, we also did not know where they were going. When they got there, lo and behold, Baba Fakeye said they were to go to, I think, Ogumasho, somewhere in Oyo State, or Osun State, to pray for someone. They got there, they did the prayer. And after the prayers, they had to come back. That's the pointer to the importance of Ephraim band. Ephraim band has always been a pace setter. It's been the pivotal for anything good. It's been a group, a band which comprises of peculiar people in every manner. A holy and anointed set of individuals, such that in bands beyond the youth fellowship, we're called to administer by way of sermonizing, give revivals. We even have a choral group, an informal choral group, that go to various bands during their anniversaries to sing for them. And they were really inspiring. Within the youth fellowship, Ephraim band has always been at the lead, has always taken the lead. The formation of the youth fellowship choir, then the gospel choir, was anchored mainly by Ephraim band. By the grace of God, I happen to have been the very first secretary of gospel choir. This is a youth choir today, and I was the secretary for 17 years. Like I also said earlier, we were always at the forefront in directing the affairs of the youth fellowship. That's from Ephraim band. All bands gather every year. We converge to celebrate and thank God for the year gone past. So also it has always been for Ephraim band. But that of this year is a spectacular, it's a landmark, the 40th anniversary. Well, probably I could say this as well. Only ogójì ọdún ni ọmọ fi bẹ̀bẹ̀. Only ogójì ọdún ni bàbá fi bọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ láti dẹ̀gbẹ̀ Kérúbù Séráfù. So it's actually another pointer to us as for this band Ephraim. 40 years, it's not been a joke. It's not been easy, but it's been very, very fulfilling for us. It's been an experience for individual members, Ephraimites, and for the band as a whole, and the church at large. So gathering together this year for the 40th anniversary is worthwhile. I think also that for the band Ephraim at 40, we recall how we started with little or nothing. Most of us then were bachelors. How we grew to have our spouses. Many of us, because I say many now because I can't leave out, I won't have to leave out the present Ephraimites, the much younger ones. So many of us now married, happily married with our children. Many of us, or some of us I should say, are even grandfathers. And so we have every cause to thank God. We have every reason to come together. I was speaking with a couple of Ephraimites, both in diaspora and in Nigeria, some of whom no longer worship in the CNS in our denomination, but are still actively involved and actively participatory in Christendom. Whenever I spoke, at every point, Ephraim is their root. Wherever they are today, whatever they have today, Ephraim is their root. And they have their allegiance towards Ephraim. For me personally, like I've always said, youth fellowship is my constituency, but Ephraim band is my primary constituency. And so it is for several Ephraimites, home and abroad.
Nígbà yẹn kò sí àdúrà tí wọ́n gbà níbi tí ó gbà. Wọ́n lè máa ṣeré pa o. Ṣé tó bá ti di gbàdúrà yẹn, the fifth Friday, wọ́n á gbàdúrà yẹn. Mo rántí lady kan from University of Lagos. Wọ́n gba létí kò bá lè sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. Kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ rárá. It was on Wednesday. Nábàámu lady yẹn wá láti Unilag, àwọn alàgbà Makamadi. Nábàámu lady yóò sọ̀rọ̀ àdé láti gbàrà fún kó sọ̀rọ̀. That was on Wednesday. Wednesday la máa ṣe meeting. Nábàámu lady yẹn dé. Làbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ àdúrà. Wọ́n leader sọ pé kó paná ní for 7 p.m. Alàgbà Bánjọ Adédèjì, alàgbà Makamadi, alàgbà Felix Tayo, wọ́n wá ní captain ní ẹ̀. àní lọ tí lady yóò bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kó paná wọ́n bá paná church fún wa lójú bàbá tàn àbẹ́là bàbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ àdúrà yẹn abẹ̀rẹ̀ àdúrà yẹn nígbà tó di 9 p.m. lady yẹn kàn kí hallelujah ni so àwọn Ephraim yẹn wọ́n fi ọkàn sìn dáradára nígbà yẹn bí lady yẹn ti kí hallelujah nìyẹn kó ti padà sí school nìyẹn so ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn Ephraim in fact àwọn èèyàn máa tún pè wá ká wá gbàdúrà fún wọn wọ́n sometimes go leader fún wa àwọn kan níbi tí wọ́n wá gbàdúrà lè Ephraim tó pé wọ́n fọkàn sìn gan nígbà yẹn wọ́n fọkàn sìn dáradára kò sí yapa láàrin wa nígbà yẹn kò you are okay tí ẹnìkan bá ti ní problem wọ́n á sọ fún alàgbà Felix ẹlẹ́wà Felix á sọ fún mi alàgbà Felix kí láti lè sọ alàmà sọ fẹ́ àádẹ́jọ analyse láàrin mi ẹ̀ ọlọ́ àdẹ́bà lọ́jọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn.
There was a lady whose picture was sent into the banks. They said the lady was missing. And we had to pray. Because we were so prayerful. We knew nothing else than to pray. Because we understood then that the only thing that could get us closer and make us get the attention of God was our faith in the prayers. It was indoctrinated into us that agbára kì í gbà, àdúrà ló ń gbà. We prayed over the picture of the lady that was brought in. Do you know that the Sunday of the anniversary, that lady, we had the anniversary service in Oyelola Hall. That Sunday, I think shortly before we moved forward, we during a procession for the Thanksgiving offering, we got to know that the lady was found. She was not found, she had been lost for a couple of, close to a month or more. But we found out that she was, and she joined us in the course of that Thanksgiving service. We've had instances where people, non-members and non-members, family members, like for instance the Friday prayer for the needies, will come. Those who are in need, those looking forward to God for the blessing of the womb. I also recall that there was an instance of even our own very captain, Baba Fani Roden, regarding Ephraim, the promise of God for him, and how Ephraim then was delivered. So many that I can't even recall at this moment. But all in all, to God be the glory.
Àkọ́kọ́ ní ìdàgbàsókè tí mo rí ni pé as a educational endowment fund nígbà yẹn tó pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó wà láàrin wa parent wọn ti member àti parent ọ̀dẹ̀ jẹ́ member ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ò owó pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn láti pẹ́ wọn lọ university kí wọ́n create EF educational endowment fund. A fẹ́ ṣe launch ẹ̀ ní one day gẹ́gẹ́ bí ti ẹni tó sọ̀rọ̀ fẹ́ẹ̀sì kọ́kọ́ sọ lẹ́ẹ̀dẹ́jọ́ ìbá àti lọ sórí rédíò mo pe commissioner for finance Lagos State ó dẹ̀ ló máa wá suddenly akàgbọ́ announcement yẹn lórí rédíò ni pé ìjọ cancel program wa kí ló dé wọ́n ní ọmọ alàgbà kan fẹ́ ṣe wedding from Kaduna I won't mention their name so wọ́n ní ó lè disturb program yẹn ó dùn àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ wa gan ó dùn wọ́n sọkún ìfá mọ̀mọ́ wọn pèlè sọ pé òun ní wá chọ́ọ̀chì mọ́ nígbà yẹn ibi tó dùn wọ́n dé bàbá jagun ló lọ bẹ̀ wọ́n nílé a ti múra lẹ́dẹ̀ program yẹn a ti ìwé àtàwọn èèyàn ńláńlá pé àwọn tẹ̀ láìkì àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó ń ṣerú ẹ̀ alàgbà Felix tó jẹ́ sẹ́kìtì wa ń gbà yẹn ó ké mo bẹ̀ wọ́n èmi àti bàbá ọ̀run gbè àtàn láti bẹ̀ wọ́n ni à ń pè bọ̀bọ̀ kan ní Josie mo ló bá invite commission for finance yẹn wá ń gbà yẹn ìyẹn ló ní wá chọ́ọ̀chì mọ́ mo wá ń pè àtàn lọ bẹ̀ wọ́n but thank God program yẹn succeed ọ̀pọ̀ ẹni pé lédùmarè.
The band has come up in a way 40 years, and we can look at it today and say, yes, God has been great and has been wonderful. As a band, I say again, I've been involved here in a lot of seminars, conferences. We are going to bring in the governor of Soso State. We are going to bring in the vice of Soso State. We are going to bring the commissioner. We are going to bring the minister. And we say, the VP is coming. I know it's not only here, everywhere we all like it. And I know that the planning team mentioned that everybody that's going to deliver the seminar, is it July 22nd, is going to be the main speaker Ephraimite, the discussant Ephraimite. And not just because we want to say we are bringing Ephraimites. People who are out there, who are done things, who have reached good positions in life, who can be called elsewhere, even that they can even collect money, who can deliver on key subjects of life that will make you have good experiences. And if you can bring in people, everybody from Ephraim, that tells you what God has done.
My advice to every Ephraimite, past, present, and upcoming Ephraimites is, let's maintain our relationship with God. Let it be the same sacrificial service. Don't think or intend or desire to serve God for any gratification. Let it be selfless, so that you will not limit or forfeit the blessings God will have for you. Because the truth is, when we serve God with all our minds, there is something there for us from God, but we don't really know the exact thing. But when we start to expect a reward in return, or something in return, we are going to either limit or reduce the actual blessing God has been there for us. Secondly, as a general advice, the younger ones of today seem to want to, it's immediate. Life itself is a phase. Life itself has its time. Life itself has its period for individuals. Don't think because your colleague or a friend or a foe, whichever way you want to look at it, is springing up. And as such, you should just follow suit. I think you should wait for your time. Just like it is in Ecclesiastes. There is time for everything. Please, wait on the Lord. But be committed. That is true. The third thing I will encourage us further is, please be concerned about yourselves. Don't spend all your time 24/7 saying you are staying in church. You are praying. We were very, very committed in our days, but we're also very concerned. You must balance out your time, your spiritual life, your personal life, your family life. You must be a responsible person. It's not all of socialization. It's not all of getting yourselves around to while away your valuable time. Because of all resources in life, the most valuable is your time. And there's time for it. The time you use it, we are being told in the scripture, in the holy words, holy books, that the time, do not scorn your youthful days. Am I going by weary? Because what we do today will be there for us tomorrow. Even on the social media, how we participate on it, tomorrow will be recalled. How we address others serves as a reckoning, as a point of reference for tomorrow. What you will be called up to do, the responsibility you will be given tomorrow, starts from today. I cite myself as an instance. When I went through the ranks, so to say, assistant secretary, vice captain, captain of the band, by the time I left in 2002, I was upgraded to being the assistant shepherd of the youth fellowship. It's not because I was better off, but because I think I'd lent my weight, my time to understanding all this. So tomorrow you are going to be a leader. Those of you who are leaders today, in whatever position you find yourselves, you have high opportunities. Fourthly, I want to encourage you. Whatever you're going to today is not the end of the world. He says, behold, all things will pass away. All things that were old will pass away. And behold, all things have become new. How will it become new? Finally, the only thing that moves God is what I will tell you now. Your tears will not move God. Your worries don't move God. Your bitterness on its own don't move God. The only thing that moves God is your faith. You know why? During your down periods, during your sad moments, during your despaired periods, and you remain committed, you trust in God, that is the faith. That's what God will lean on to. I said, no, I must do this for this child of mine. Very, very finally, we have this slogan: once an Ephraimite, always an Ephraimite. And also, to him whom much is given, much is expected. God bless you.
Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run lórí àwọn bàbá wa nínú Olúwa, màmá wa nínú tó kọ́ alẹ́ lọ́wọ́ nígbà yẹn. Ìmọ̀ràn tó ń fún àwọn gbà yẹn ó sì wà ńlẹ̀. Kẹjọ ẹ jẹ́ ká ní sùúrù. Gbogbo nǹkan tó dán, gbogbo gbúdà tá a rí yẹn kọ́ ló gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti inú iná ńlá jáde. Ìgbà tó ń process gold tó bá lè rí gun àlè òpin nǹkan tó máa fáìn tó máa gbé kọ́rùn lọ́jọ́ iwájú ni. Wọ́n rọ̀ wá nígbà gbogbo pé ká jẹ́ ọmọ rere. Gbogbo ìwà jàgídíjàgan tá ń gbọ́, ká fipá lówó, ká gbàyàwó ẹni, ká lu jìbìtì, ká dáràn, ká da ìjọba rú. Wọ́n mú sọ pé ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim pa jìnnà sí. Ìmọ̀ràn mi fún àwọn àbúrò mi ní ẹgbẹ́ Ephraim lónìí, àtàwọn tó máa wá sí ẹgbẹ́ náà lọ́nà ni pé kán jọ lórúkọ Olúwa, kán jẹ́ ọmọ rere tí ìjọ lè fi yangàn.
And what I will advise those boys that they should think of the home that they came from. They should be behavior that they will expect somebody from outside that will make people to talk good about them. They should not be good about them. That's the way they should behave. And they do things that will give themselves and the church and their parents good name. That when they say, oh, this boy is from a very good home. It's not that you just behave, you go and steal, dupe people. It's very bad. If you hear the things that youths are doing nowadays, one will be very sad. And as a good mother, you won't feel happy. You will have a wife at home, be following another girl outside, beating that one, the one in the house, so that she can go out and you bring that one in. And it's the same thing you are going to do to that one. I think they need to be talked to and behave very well, change their attitude. They should be satisfied with the little thing that they have, and they should be hardworking and very prayerful. You have to combine the two together, because nowadays where people think they can make money is becoming a pastor, having a church.
I believe that every member of Ephraim should aspire to be a minister, to mount the pulpit. I'm not saying you cannot be a doctor. You cannot be. Can you check all the people, those Pentecostal churches we are talking about? Adeboye, mathematician, Baba Kumoyi from the university too, Mountain of Fire, Olukoya from the university. Most of them. I'm not saying you cannot be a medical doctor, lawyer, I know that. Every member of Ephraim, mark it down, both inside and the ones coming, must be a minister. Whether it is to deliver lecture on the word, whether it is revival, whether it is sermon, whether it is song ministration, whether it's prayer. You must, everybody. It is in line with Apostle Paul saying, let me use in Yoruba, bí mo ṣe mo gbé, but I ní gbé. We must do it. We must be a minister. You must see the person who has delivered that lecture, who has mounted that pulpit and say, ìjọ ò lèmi náà fẹ́ ṣe. You must. Ṣé mi náà lè ṣe? You must. It is the great, what do you call it? What Jesus has told us to do. It is the Great Commission. It is a commission from God, from Jesus. So we should not have those people as our role models. We can be everything we want to be. We can dress properly. We can dress properly. We can portray God properly. We can do things properly. We do not have to use the social media for negative things. You do not have to join groups that do not add value to God. I do not see any reason why you'll be spending money on social media. Every time you visit the social media, somebody out there is getting richer. Zuckerberg is getting richer. The guy that owns Twitter is getting richer. Every time you go to Twitter, you are enriching them, but you are using it for negative things. And some people are using Twitter, Facebook, and all that to earn money. I have a person who's doing some work for us in Tel. I've not seen him for 2 years. The last time I saw him was 2020. Yet he produces our magazine. We don't need to see him. We use the social media for fruitful things. Everything we are going to do, let it be fruitful. Ephraim is fruitful. Let's project Ephraim as a symbol of fruitfulness, a symbol of God's love, a symbol of progress.
Well, Ephraim band, very interesting question. When we joined the Ephraim band, it was full of vibrant youths, ready to work, ready to serve, ready to study. And during our own time, there is just a slogan then that yes, you come to church, but you have to face your studies. And because that's just the thing echoing then, that you just have to study. Because even if you become so involved in church building, in bands building, if you don't have education, you don't have knowledge, definitely it might be a setback in one way or the other. And we thank God for that. Most of we members of Ephraim band then, we aspire to go into higher institutions. Just like me, I went to University of Lagos, and a couple of us went to different universities, polytechnics and that. But more interestingly, Ephraim band, we are so united, and at the same time, like I said earlier on, that because we have Chief as a role model, a vibrant lawyer, it gives us a lot of inspiration for us to strive to become good, to become somebody of importance. And that's what I've seen about the Ephraim band. And we are so prayerful, because I could remember vividly when I joined, and that was you happen to be celebrating the 40th anniversary now. I think Ephraim was in existence for just 2 years when I joined Ephraim band. So we are so lucky that every one of us ready to serve, like I said earlier on, and we involve in prayer. During the media revival or end of the year revival, Ephraim band, we will be in our band, join hands together, praying for the church, praying for the leader, for the success of the revival. These are things that we do. I think it's a prayer-based band. We involve so much in prayer, and we are the forerunners. Even in the church, we get involved. We do a lot of things. We normally do Queen's competition in the Bible, a lot of debates and stuff like that, Bible competitions. And most of our colleagues in university, we do visit ourselves. In our own time, there's no mobile phones. So definitely, but we have a way of, getting involved, meeting ourselves, make sure that we are doing the right thing. And when it comes to our anniversary, we try as much as possible to persuade our parents to pay the fee. Well, when I was the financial secretary of Ephraim band, I was involved. There are a lot of things that we created for the band, ways to contribute to the band. We have groups, group A, group B, group C, depending on the group you belong to. During the service, we try as much as possible to make sure that members of our band do pay their monthly dues. And it was a token then, but it's not that easy for anybody to get such money. But we thank God that because of the fact that we are ready to serve, and Sule was growing then, and the things were going in a proper perspective. You know, when we started the Ephraim band, that was the time that where we started the youth fellowship, and everything works hand in hand. I could say it categorically that even the youth church, we are the one that built it. Because at that time, we carry, what do you call it, pong pong, you know, just to pick some sound, you know, to support in building. You know, a lot of things, you know, happens during our own time. And we give God the glory that this is where we are today. We're still proud to be member of Ephraim band, still proud to be member of the set. So that's just the little I can say about that. And I know quite well that some of my colleagues might still have more things to talk about, but for me, my greatest joy is that there's love within Ephraim band. And I believe even up till now, I can even say the love, that there's love within the members of the band. And I just pray to God that God in His infinite mercy should just be with us, and Ephraim should be growing stronger and stronger and stronger in Jesus' name.